And today we're going to look at cardiac axis and why do ECGs point either up or downwards. What sort of things affect these? Now, pathologies which can alter cardiac axis include things which remodel the heart, such as cardiac failure or conduction blocks. So when we're looking at a heart, the general trajectory of cardiac conduction is from the right atrium all the way down to the apex. So that's why when we're looking at a cardiac conduction diagram, normal axis is from -30 all the way down to +90 degrees. As you can see right here. And that's because lead 2 has this positive electrode down on the left hip, negative in the right shoulder, positive in the left hip, which means as cardiac conduction is traveling in this direction from the right atrium through to the apex, it's going towards a positive electrode, and that's why the R wave has a positive deflection. P wave's positive deflection because conduction is traveling in that direction. As can be seen in this lead 2 rhythm strip right here. Nice and positive. Normal axis. Let's look at bundle branch block. Now, whether it's a left bundle branch block or a right bundle branch block, what's easy to remember is that left bundle branch blocks cause left axis deviation, right bundle branch blocks cause right axis deviation. So let's pretend we've got a left bundle branch block right here, okay? So left ventricle here, the bundle branch there is blocked from conducting normally. That means that the right bundle branch is going to conduct normally, and then conduction is going to sweep across into the left ventricle via the myocytes rather than through nerve fibers. Now, conduction happens through myocytes a lot slower than through nerve fibers. That means the left ventricle is going to have a slightly delayed contraction. That's why when you're looking at the leads that are facing the normally conducting ventricle, you're going to see an RSR pattern. That's 2 R waves denoting the delayed contraction of the affected ventricle. Legends, a complicated one. We're going to get our thinking caps on. We're going to be looking at cardiac action potentials. So stay with me, stay focused. Let's move through. So what we can see here is a diagram of the ventricular cardiac myocyte action potential. Now, we're going to be doing a more comprehensive video on this in the future, but for now, just think about it like this. We need positive ions moving into the cell. So extracellular sodium and calcium are going to be moving into the cell. Once it reaches that peaking point, that's when the potassium, which is a positive ion, which is already in the cell, is going to start flowing out. And that's going to match the influx of calcium, causing that refractory period. And that's the refractory period that we know about between the Q wave and the T wave, as you can see on this superimposed QRS complex. Okay guys, let's look at the cyanoatrial action potential. Let's look at the genesis of every heartbeat. We've already looked at the cardiac myocyte action potential. This time we're going to look at how the sinus node, the SA node, actually generates every single impulse and every single contraction of each heartbeat that we see. Off the bat here, you'll be able to see that there are some differences between this action potential and the previous one that we looked at. So you've noticed there's no phase 1 and there's no phase 2, and that's because there's no refractory period in this action potential. What there is hyperpolarization. So let's check it out. And we're going to be using this diagram. This is the diagram of the cyanoatrial action potential. Now you can see it's got phase 4, phase 0, and then phase 3. All right, so right off the bat here in phase 4, we see hyperpolarization has occurred. Now this initiates the HCN channels, otherwise known as the hyperpolarization activated cyclic nucleotide gated sodium channels, to initiate the funny current. I'm not even joking. That's the name that medical scientists came up with. All right, back to the diagram. So opening of the HCN channels allows a slow influx of sodium, causing gradual depolarization all the way to the threshold potential of -40 millivolts. At this point, L-type calcium channels open, allowing a rapid influx of calcium, causing rapid depolarization all the way up to +20 millivolts, which initiates phase 3, causing voltage-gated potassium channels to open, allowing movement of the positive potassium out of the cell. This causes a gradual repolarization all the way down to the bottom, as you can see, phase 4. Anyway, guys, that's a snapshot into the SA node action potential. If you have any requests for videos or if you have any questions, please comment them down below and let me know. And as always, stay safe.